Hello everyone. So in part 2 we will discuss about the classification of crystalline solids. I hope you will understand that. First of all, again I will revise about the properties of crystalline solid, which are these are generally the true solids, anisotropic in nature, they have sharp melting point and the regular arrangement as you know. Now coming to the classification of crystalline solids. So as you see, they are generally classified into four major categories, which are molecular solids, ionic crystals, network crystals, and metallic crystals. These are generally the crystals of four types: molecular, ionic, network, and metallic crystals. Further, when we deal with the classification, the molecular crystals further divided into three major categories. These are non-polar, polar, and hydrogen bonded solids. So we will discuss it. So see, first one is metallic solids or metallic crystal. So any crystal is made up of particles or atoms. So see, first your type, which is metallic crystal. These are generally made by combining cations and the electrons. Cations are generally positively charged species, while the electrons are negative one. By combining these species, the metallic solids are made, and we also require certain binding forces. So in these crystals, your binding forces are metallic bonds. Metallic bonds are generally formed by combining cations and electrons. So if you are combining cations and electrons by metallic bond, we get metallic solids. What are the properties? They are hard. They are generally good conductors of heat and electricity. Even their melting point, boiling point, melting points are generally high. Even they are good ductile, they are good malleable. Okay, you can also see the examples in front of you. We have generally the metallic crystals of sodium, magnesium, aluminium, iron Fe, tin. These are generally the metallic crystals. Okay, this is your first type. Now moving to the next type, that is called ionic crystals. So as the name indicates, ionic crystals are the crystals which are made by combining ions. Ions means cations and anions. Cations are generally positively charged, while anions are negatively charged. So here is also requires a binding force. Here is the binding force is your electrostatic force of attraction, which is so the binding forces in ionic crystals are generally electrostatic force of attraction, which is occur between cations and anions. Okay, coming to the nature, these are also hard because they have electrostatic force of attraction. They have high melting point. Even they are bad conductors of electricity. But when you are taking the solution of ionic crystal, it conduct electricity because the ions are separated in solution. If you see the example, we have good example of NaCl crystal, magnesium oxide crystal, and NaNO3. These are the good examples of ionic crystal. Now we are moving to the third type, that is called covalent crystals. Covalent crystals, these are generally the crystal, as the name indicates, these are generally the crystals which are made by combining the atoms of which type? The non-metallic atoms of. So if the non-metallic atoms are combined, then generally the combining forces are covalent bonds. So in this type, that means in covalent crystals, we have generally the covalent bonds, which are the combining forces here by which the non-metallic atoms get combined. What are the properties? Since the bonds are covalent bonds and the non-metallic atoms are present, that's why they are generally soft or not as hard as metallic one, so that their melting point is also get lower, and even they are generally non-conductors of electricity. You just also see the examples which I discussed earlier, like diamond, graphite, SiC, that is silicon carbide. These are some of the crystals which are of covalent type because it contain the non-metals like carbon. Okay, after that we are moving to the fourth type, that is called molecular crystals or molecular solids. So now, as a name indicates, molecular solids are the solids which are formed by combining molecules of different type or same type. Okay, so if you are combining atoms or molecules, that type of solids are molecular solids. Now how these molecules get combined? What are the forces of attraction? There are dispersion forces of attraction between the molecules. generally the dispersion force is also weak. That's why these molecular solids are also weak, that means soft. So that's why they have extremely low melting point. They are generally of low melting point. If we are talking about their solubility, so that these are soluble in some of the solvents which are also of molecular type. Okay, so depending on the categories, they are further divided into three types: non-polar, polar and hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Depending on the molecules, they get divided. So discuss it. First is non-polar molecular solids. So what are non-polar molecular solids? See. So in non-polar molecular solids, the combining molecules are generally non-polar type. Non-polar means their polarity is very low. That means these are the molecules which contain atoms of generally same type. So these are called non-polar molecular solids. Okay, forces are the dispersion forces as usual. So if we are talking about their nature, generally they are soft as I discussed earlier. And if you see the solubility, non-polar molecular solids are generally soluble in non-polar solvents. We have generally the examples of these solids like H2 crystals, CO2 crystals, CH4 type of crystal. These are generally the non-polar molecular solids. Now we are coming to the next one, polar molecular solids. So as the name indicates, when you are combining molecules are of polar type. Polar means the molecules which contain atoms having electronegativity difference. That means these contain the atoms which have a large electronegativity difference. As see the example like HCl. In HCl, hydrogen and chlorine have large electronegativity difference. So this is the example of polar molecular solid. The properties are generally same as above, but when we are talking about the solubility, polar molecular solids are generally soluble in polar solvents, like non-polar. Non-polar are soluble in non-polar one, while the polars are soluble in polar one. This is the principle which we call like dissolve like principle. After that, we are moving to the third. So the third type is hydrogen bonded molecular solids. As the name indicates, it contains the molecules with hydrogen bonding. It contains the molecule which generally involve the intermolecular forces or bonded forces which are hydrogen bonding. So we have the best example of water, H2O. H2O contains the atoms of hydrogen and oxygen which are bonded by hydrogen bonding. So it is the best example of hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Other than this, we have also one of the example, NH3, ammonia. It also contains hydrogen bond between nitrogen and hydrogen. See, these molecular solids contain hydrogen bond. That's why they are generally stronger. So their properties are like this. They have high melting point. And even when we are talking about the solubility of these solids, they are generally, as the like dissolve like principle, this type of molecular solid, which are hydrogen bonded molecular solids, are generally soluble in solvents which also contain hydrogen bonding, like water. Okay, so if you have the solids of water, it is soluble in water. Okay, so this is the classification of solids. I hope you liked my video, so that you just subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.